Hi, I'm Stuart Wright, and in this video I'm going to show you some of the ways you can play C major chords. This one is so useful, it's really common. C is a common key for guitar, and C chords feature in the debut tracks from the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and so many more across all styles and all genres. It can be a little bit harder than some of the other open chords to begin with because it's got a little bit of a stretch in it. So let's take a look at the basic open chord shape for C major. It looks like this. So for this chord, I've got the third finger on the third fret of the A string, the second finger on the second fret of the D string, and the first finger on the first fret of the B string. One of the big challenges here is keeping the G string, that third string, open. So you have to make sure that the underside of the second finger is just not resting against that string and muting it. And likewise, we have to make sure the top E string is also open. So we have to be careful the first finger isn't rolling over onto that one. And finally, we want to try and avoid playing the low E string in this chord. Whilst that note is in the chord, the E is in the C chord, it just changes the character of the chord a little bit. So sometimes we will play a C like that, but in general, we want to be playing from the A string to the high E string. Other things to watch out for with that chord are placement of the fingers. Make sure you're not touching the fret wire and making sure you're not too far away from the fret wire, so you're creating too much of a stretch. The fingers want to rest just behind the fret wire, giving plenty of space. And if this chord is new to you, start off with short bursts. And if it's proven to be too much of a challenge to get the stretch in place, start off with the A minor 7 chord instead. We just lose the third finger there. And then you can bring that third finger back in. Next, we're going to play the A shape C major bar chord. We take this A major chord from here, move it up 3 frets to fret 5, and then add the bar across the 3rd fret. So that's an index finger bar at fret 3, and then the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers at the 5th fret of the D, G, and B strings. Now, some people will avoid playing the high E string there, so we just get these 4 notes instead. But it's good to work on getting that high E string in place. We want to make sure first that the bar, the index finger bar, is strong enough, and try rolling that bar so you're more on the side of the finger rather than the flat of the finger. You get more of the bone of the finger there, and that helps keep those strings in place. When you've mastered that shape, you can simply move it up and down the neck to play in all 12 keys. The root note is the 3rd fret on the A string, so take it up 2 frets and you've got a D major chord. C major, D major. You can also play that shape with a 3rd finger partial bar across fret 5 of the D, G, and B strings. So we have the index finger bar, and then the 3rd finger is doing that partial bar. Some people play this shape, some people play this shape. It's all a question of preference, which one you find easier, but also where you're going next. If you are using this shape with the 3rd finger, one of the main challenges is to try and get the high E string ringing as well. So make sure you just slightly raise the 3rd finger at the end, just so it's not blocking off that high E string. And you might find if you flatten that 3rd finger down too much, you start catching the 5th fret. Another way to play the C major is as a full bar chord, this time at fret 8. And like the F major chord we looked at in the other video, we simply take an open E major chord shape, move everything to fret 10, and then add an index finger bar at the 8th fret. So that's the index finger at the 8th fret, 3rd finger at fret 10 of the A string, 4th finger at fret 10 of the D string, and the 2nd finger at fret 9 of the G string. And that gives us root, 5th, root, major 3rd, and then 5th and root. And if you're new to that particular chord shape, check out the video I've done on Guitar World where I look at the F major bar chord in detail. There are also variations on C chords that you can play that sometimes sound better. One of my favorites is the C add 9 chord, which is down here. So that one has the second finger on the root, fret 3 of the A string, the first finger on fret 2 of the D string, there's the major third. We keep the G string open, and then put the third and fourth fingers on the third frets of the B and E strings. It's very similar to a G chord. So players like Noel Gallagher will often move from a C add 9 to a G, or vice versa. And it's just got a little bit more colour than a standard C major. Here's a C major chord. Move to a C add 9. And you'll hear that chord in tracks like Perfect by Ed Sheeran, Time of My Life by Green Day, and Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. Another great chord in the open position is a C major 7, which sounds like this. And that's an easy one to play. We just take the C major chord and we get rid of the first finger from the B string and make that B string open. Major 7 chords have a softer sound than major chords, so they're really common in jazz standards, ballads, and certain pop songs, so always let your ears be your guide as to where you use it. But a really common move is to go from a major chord like this into a major 7. Thanks for watching. I hope you found that video useful. C major chords are so common, so make sure you spend a lot of time working on them and all the various ways you can play them. Don't forget to leave a comment and hit subscribe for Guitar World, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.